through my efforts to educate myself to be the best leader that I can be, I found myself having so many questions, more questions than I have answers for.
Have you ever questioned your racial identity? Have you ever questioned what it means to be born with the skin that carries your bones and muscles around? How your skin can either open doors for you and bestow upon you privileges you didn't know you were born into, or that very skin, depending on your circumstance, can feel like a curse. I was raised to be a proper young lady. I was raised by two women who were born over 140 years ago, if they were alive today. My grandmothers taught me that a proper young lady never talks about race, never discusses race, ever. I was raised to be colorblind, to not see race. This right here, this was my racial education. How much I know about race. It's a blank piece of paper. If you founded a social justice movement and you find yourself now, all of a sudden, a person that is supposed to speak to other white people about race and end up discussing race. There's so many different groups and materials out there. So if this is your knowledge of race, what do you do when your whole life you're thought a good white person doesn't see race? That, after all, is our corporate culture. In every corporate environment I have been in, corporations don't see race. Well, supposedly. But in my education, through the shutdown, through all the time I've had to read books and abstracts and come to my own conclusion about race, I don't feel equipped to talk about race. I don't feel as though I'm an expert, but that's the problem. So many of us don't want to confront uncomfortable emotions in order to become a better people. And to create something different, you must do something different. Now, why is being colorblind bad? You might be asking. But from my understanding of what I've read and researched and studied, being colorblind is part of the problem. Because if we don't see this specific problem is happening to this specific race, then we will forever be silent about that problem, which will allow that problem to be perpetuated. If we're colorblind, we don't see a full person. Being colorblind allows us to other people. Those are other people. So many instances where my grandmother didn't have a reason to tell me not to do something. Her go-to was always, well, that's what white trash people do. You aren't white trash, you are a young lady. You don't want to be white trash, do you? Or seen as white trash, do you? As if being seen as white trash were a horrible sin, a scarlet letter that I would forever have to wear. That is othering. That is taking an entire group, an entire portion of the population and saying, I don't have to concern myself with their social problems, with their economic problems. I don't have to concern myself with the problems of this group of people because they are white trash. And because they are white trash, they are low class. And because they are low class, they are uneducated. And because they are uneducated, they therefore have to be the people who are racist. And if these white trash people are the true racist people, then they are the problem of society. No problem. But see, that's the problem, is looking for the scapegoat. And that's what we have done. Instead of solving and addressing the problems of society, we have taken groups of people and we have othered them, making them our scapegoat. But if we don't work to solve these social problems, then they will keep growing. To accept someone fully, you need to see their skin, their culture, why and how they became who they are, to truly see their humanity, to truly acknowledge their humanity and embrace their humanity. If you agree, the world can and must become a better place, and we all must speak up in order to create the change we want to see, and you are willing to add your voice to this change, I welcome you to this journey, because a movement isn't a movement when it's just one person. I crave in the depths of my being to make the world a better place. And I've created this channel to sort through and sift through the differences between what we have been socialized to believe and what is true. No matter what you're going through, I want you to know you are worthy of love because you exist.